Welcome to this week's Into the Kitchen with me, Chef Cynthia Louise, where we get to eat. This is a mung bean detox soup. The best detox soup you'll ever have in your life. This is quick and easy and nutritious. And when you've had that 12-hour working day and you just want to come home and you don't want to chop vegetables up, this is the soup for you. This is a great recipe. This is a mung soup. Now mung, it is a part of the legume family. It is called either mung or mung, right? Mung, M-U-N-G, mung bean sprouts, mung bean shoots, or mung, M-O-O-N-G, soup, if that makes sense. And they look like, where are they? Here they are. They look like this little glory. Check it out. Yeah, and you can sprout them into a sprout, or you can make them into a long shoot, which they put in a lot of Asian foods and a lot of salad. And you can soak them. Have a look what I've done here. I've soaked this for a couple of hours. Now, this is the trick. Are you ready? When you're soaking legumes, always use a teaspoon of baking soda. Really important, okay? Don't ask me why. Not that you can. But it actually takes away that gassiness in my tummy, for me. For you, you know when you have hummus, or you know when you have a legume and someone hasn't cooked it or soaked it right, you're like, holy shit, my stomach hurts. Like on the trip to Africa when you were telling me we had that, we bought that hummus, remember? Yeah. Okay, so rinsing really well. So the trick is to soak your legumes, the harder legumes, like this. When I mean the hardy legumes, I mean, have a look back over here, the harder legumes, okay? These are quite stony and hard, aren't they?
Yeah, really hard.
They're really hard. They're like a chickpea.
Like a rock.
Exactly. So you need to soak them. So I've soaked 1 cup of mung, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and a shitload of water. So probably 3 times as much water. So 1 cup of mung, 3 cups of water. Yeah, if you like. This is what you're going to do. This is the greatest dish I've ever had when using mung. Okay, let's measure. So it's good to measure. Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cups of water. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this to the boil. Follow me, follow me, follow me, follow me. I'm going to boil this. Where's my trusty timer? It's somewhere. We will keep an eye on the time. We will boil this for 20 minutes. Nothing in there, just boiling. That is the first step. Easy. I've gone to work. I've soaked my mung. I've come home from work. This is all you're going to do is boil it for 20 minutes. Now, come over here and have a really close look at what I've got here. And this is what's going to go into it, which is really interesting. So while that's boiling, I'll run you through this. So first of all, I've got some cumin seeds, whole cumin seeds. I've got a green chili. Now you can have as much and as less chili as you want. I've got a cinnamon stick. I've got some fresh curry leaves. I've got some ghee. You can use oil. You can use ghee. Up to you. I've got some fresh ginger. I'm going to grate this ginger, and I'm not going to peel the skin because it's organic. Over here, I've got some clove powder, some turmeric, and I've got some Hing or Asafoetida. Now Asafoetida is it's a sap from a plant, and they take that sap and they dry it out. Now Asafoetida that I've seen in stores is yellow. It's not supposed to be yellow, in my opinion. It's supposed to be a kind of a grey-white colour like this. This is a better quality. It doesn't have that stinky, smelly, sulfury smell to it like Asafoetida that I've seen in stores have. So you're after Hing or Asafoetida. Hing is the closest natural, in my opinion. I could be wrong. If there's any wonderful Indian people out there, you can correct me. But Hing is what you're after, and you're after this colour. This is a substitute. Now have a look at my tray again. There's no garlic and onion. This is a substitute for garlic and onion. Reason why we're substituting it, this soup is a detox soup, which is really cool. And it has the most profound effect on your body when you eat and combine all these spices. So it is actually an Ayurvedic detox soup. And it is the best detox soup I've ever had in my life. So So we're boiling for 20 minutes. Oh, this is sugar. Thank you, Scott. Hi, you can talk, you know.
Oh, sorry.
This is coconut sugar, and this is lemon juice, and this is last. So we've got that there. I've come home from work. I've just worked 12 hours. I don't have to cut up any vegetables. I just want a really highly nutritious, high source of protein, delicious Indian flavoured Ayurvedic detox soup. And both me and you have had this, and it's very filling.
Very delicious.
It's very earthy and very grounding. And what does that even mean? What I mean by earthy and grounding, as we go throughout the day, right now the sun is out, the weather is beautiful, there's a lot of hustle and bustle outside, and I'm all up in it, yeah? And tonight, instead of having a salad or a big bowl of veggies, I just want to ground down. And this type of food, this type of spices and this type of legumes called mung will really do that with an immense amount of flavour. And you'll feel this cuddle from the inside out. It's really quite extraordinary. Okay, so we'll come back after that's boiled and we'll get to the next step. This has been boiling 20 minutes, exactly. Turn it off. Take it over to the sink. Lasmi, can you hold this for me? And I can tip this in there. Okay, now put back inside. Awesome, great. Back over here, my glasses are fogging up. Now we're going to add some water. I'm just going to grab some water. How exciting. This is a really great recipe for all of us, really, you know, people that work out there 12 hours a day. Seriously, like this is, I would have this at least 3 times a week. Seriously. And like I said, I'd get up in the morning, soak it, come home, cook it. I'm not cutting vegetables. I've got my feet up right now. You know what I mean? In that cooking time. I just really can see this benefiting a lot of people. Okay, so I need 4 cups of water. Is that 4? All right. Now let's just take it back a notch. You know I've measured all this out, but realistically I've come home. I've gone to my pantry cupboard, I've found my spices, and I've measured them out. Okay, and then everything's on the boil, and I've actually got my feet up, waiting for that to boil. That's realistic. Okay, sometimes being in the kitchen when everything's measured and everything, and it all looks really lovely and wonderful, but actually really, realistically, this is how the shit really goes down in real life. So we're going to keep the coconut sugar and the lemon last. Okay, we're going to put this back onto the boil. We're going to add our curry leaves. Now see how I take them off the stem, Scott? Mm-hmm. Just like that. Nice and easy. I'm going to add my cinnamon stick. Lasmi, can you chop that up, chili up for me? Just chop it up, yeah. Thanks, mate. What am I doing? Oh, my ginger. Now remember I said I wasn't going to peel it, yeah? You don't need to peel ginger, especially when it's organic. There's a good tablespoon here, a nice heaped tablespoon of ginger. You can see it coming through there. All that skin and everything. These are great little microplanes. I'm even going to dump that bit in there and shake that off. Mm-hmm. This is great for the single blokes out there as well that want to have a really good detox soup. No, that's perfect. Chuck it in. Chuck it in there. Thanks, mate. Chili goes in. This is good for the muscles. This is when, right? Seriously, everybody at home. The kids are screaming, you're hungry, everyone's happy in the house, it's all like on, they're yelling and running around and screaming and kicking the ball in the house, and you're in the kitchen, and see my shoulder? See how tense I am right now? Mm-hmm. Let's just relax it and breathe. Because it's only this one moment we have, right? That goes in.
When you're grating, it's time to be grateful, isn't it?
Oh, totally. Time to be grateful, Scott. You're a genius. Now I'm going to add everything else in. Ghee, you don't have to, okay? You really don't have to, but I want to. I want that flavour in there. And I'm going to add all these spices. Very simply, without any fuss. Okay. Thanks, mate. Going to give it a stir. Oh, look at this, man. This is just earthy and delicious. I'm going to add some salt. I'm going to add some pepper. And this is when you taste, when you taste. In my cooking classes, have a look online. I've got a whole series of raw cooking classes for detoxing. I've got a whole series of sweets that celebrate your sweet tooth naturally without the white sugar shitstorm and the dairy for our kids and for us. And I've got a cooking class which is all the main family meals and everything. And you'll see me in the classes adding salt in the beginning, in the middle, and the end. So I've just added in the beginning and now I'm going to taste it. Oh my God, it's already flavoursome. Now I'm going to think to myself, okay, I'm just going to let that boil. Then I'm going to add salt to the middle, which means the middle of the cooking time. Then I'm going to taste it last. I'm going to add it again. Really important process. It gets you very grounded. It gives you a sense of understanding of the flavours of food instead of trying to match a recipe and not really knowing how flavours actually journey on. It's very interesting. It's something I've taught you, Scott, is that beginning flavour. It might be just water and garlic or something, but it's really that beginning so you can understand what happens in the middle and how things expand in flavour, and then at the end as you're serving, which is really cool. We're going to bring this to the boil and we're going to cook it for 30 minutes exactly. So where's my timer? The 30 minutes lasts. So we're all on for 30 minutes and it's going to boil. I'm going to leave the lid to the side, just like this. And I'm going to leave my coconut sugar and lemon juice last. Okay, 30 minutes. And I'm going to taste again in the middle. Remember that. See you in 30 minutes, guys. All right, this has been cooking and we've got 7 minutes to go, and this is the middle. Scott was just saying, when's the middle? Well, now's the middle, all right? So we're halfway through cooking. And you're tasting. And I'm going, okay, you need a little bit more salt, Cynthia. And a little bit more pepper. So that's what I mean about the middle. The middle doesn't mean half the time. It means that when you kind of get there before the actual ism is cooked. Now I'm going to add my sugar. And I'm going to add my lemon juice. Okay? I'm going to give it a stir. And it's going to completely change now after adding that. Now another taste. Oh yeah. Oh my God, look at it. Come really close. It's really earthy. Look at this. Yep. Very earthy. Very delicious. Look at just bits and pieces in there of what I put in. Oh, it's so good. All right, I'm going to put that lid to the side. It is on low. Let it cook for the remaining time. And then I'm going to taste it last. Then I'm going to serve it and sit down and eat it. Okay, we're finished cooking. So we're at the finish. So now we taste again to see where we're at. Just needs that little bit of salt, just that little sprinkle, just to bring it home. Interesting, isn't it?
Always.
Every time I teach, every time people purchase my cooking classes, I always get someone writing in or talking to me online saying, you know what? It's that tasting, beginning, middle, and end, that I feel confident. It's a game changer, absolutely.
I was always told to season at the end, but now I've learnt that it brings out so much more flavour along the way.
You know who does it? The Europeans, the Spanish, the Italians, the Lebanese. They all, in the kitchens, those mamas in the kitchens cooking, like you'll get chefs saying, oh, don't put salt with legumes. I'm sorry, but there's so many amazing grandmothers and mothers out there that just do all those layers and layers of salt and pepper throughout the cooking process.
Right.
And I love it. I love that. That to me is culture. Like it outbeats chefing to me.
Yeah.
And I love that culture. So there's enough for 2 servings here. Look at that earthy stick there.
Cinnamon log.
Yeah, cinnamon log. But look how earthy this is. So 2 servings all up. Get right down in here, Scott. Look at it. And smelling your food.
Hard not to. This one is so aromatic.
Yeah. It is, isn't it? There's a real fragrance and a depth to it that's really quite extraordinary. And yeah, I'm going to chew the curry leaves. Yeah, really, like Scott just mentioned before, didn't you, Scott? You're like, oh, this is a really long recipe. I didn't cut up any veggies. I didn't slave away for the next hour and a half.
Yeah.
I came home from work. It was already soaked. I cooked it for 20 minutes. Then I rinsed it. Then I added all my isms. And I cooked it for 30. Was it 30, was it? I think so. And in that time, I got to kind of wind down a bit, you know? And that's the reality of this soup. And that really large hint of India in here, you know, and that feeling of, you know, what was it like with Ayurvedic food back in the day, you know, hundreds and hundreds of years ago. So it's 5,000 years old, this type of food. It's not just something we just made up last week that's good for you. It's really beautiful. I really, really, really hope you make it. If you don't like it, don't make it again. Don't complain about it either. Nothing worse. People complaining about a recipe when some of the world is starving. Just get on with your day and move on. But I'm grateful. I'm grateful this one came into my life. I hope you enjoy it. Bye. See you next week. Yummy. It really does have a fragrant smell, doesn't it?
Yeah. Oh, how smells it when
You could even chuck a whole bunch of kale in there, like shredded kale, and cook that with it too, you know?
Yeah.